Hello, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
Oh my gosh. Thank goodness it's Friday.
Yes, happy TDIF, everybody.
Yeah, thank dog it's Friday around here. That's what we like to say. So thanks so much for being with us. We are so excited. We took a little bit of a break the last
Yep.
couple weeks. It was summer, I went on family vacation and Hillary went on family vacation. So we've got all our vacations underway. We had such a great time. Our family got to go up to one of the lakes in Lake Michigan. I love it up there. It's so pretty, nice, cool. Got to see the sunsets on the beach. It was just so much fun. Hillary, how at yours? Did you have a good time?
So mine was a river cruise on the Mississippi. So from St. Louis to Red Wing,
Oh my gosh.
Minnesota. So it was really fun. You kind of got, a bunch of different areas, a bunch of different kind of temperatures. So when we started, it was super hot. By the time we ended, it was nice and cool. And so, it was a very fun, relaxing, just hanging out on the boat and seeing some different parts of the country. So that was awesome.
That's what ours was too. It was very relaxing. So it's interesting that we both kind of went that way this year for our vacation. Life is hectic. It's crazy. And we can always craft to make kind of the stress go away, but it's also fun to get away and see different places and just relax, enjoy, especially with family and friends. Always makes it that much special. So today, thanks so much for being with us, everybody. Sorry, Hillary and I are just catching up. We haven't seen each other. So we're so glad to be back with you as well. Fridays are our favorite day of the week because we get to do all kinds of things in honor of our love for pups, but that we get to make with our hands. So we love DIY and all that good stuff. And in particular, we like Dollar Tree DIYs. And we found this week this adorable covered pumpkin jar. It's kind of like a candy dish, or you could put a candle in it. In fact, Hillary has one. I didn't see this other one that you have. That's a candle. And we're going to do the French Toile technique on it today. So that'll be so fun.
It's so cool. And when you're going to Dollar Tree, so as I showed, I saw the orange ones at my Dollar Tree. There weren't any of the white ones in stock. So you can kind of hunt around and look for something that will work. So this one would work too if you painted it out white with some chalk paint. They also have these ones. And again,
those are adorable.
Paint them out white with some chalk paint. It'll work perfect for this particular craft. And then this one, it's a little hard to tell because I've already started on it, but it was a little pumpkin candle. It's got a candle in the bottom portion of it. But it was all this blue glass. And so I just painted out the top and bottom with white chalk paint again.
Cute.
And the one thing I will say, definitely use chalk paint if you're going to if you need to paint this out, because especially on like the ceramic or the glass one, because the chalk paint will actually adhere to it. Otherwise it just kind of smears around and stuff like that. So, but I think even this one, chalk paint just makes it so easy to work with. Like it
dries quickly.
To everything. So, and you can get to crafting faster. So highly recommend some white chalk paint if you need it. A coat or two. I think I did 2 coats on my blue one. So depending on this, you'd probably only need 1 coat,
Yeah, I love that. And these are so bougie. Like I love how stylish these are for the Dollar Tree price. Like that's crazy. These look so nice as is, but we always want to up our game, make this a little extra special. And the blue toile craze, the trend is going on right now. So we have a stack of these really pretty napkins. You can get any colors, you could actually, I think the toile comes in other colors as well, like pinks or lavenders, burgundies, that kind of thing. And so we're just going with the blue and white, which is kind of the classic French toile color scheme. And then this project could not be easier. I really like it because it's kind of meditative, it's kind of that Zen thing that we were talking about going on family vacations. So basically what you want to do with your napkin is take all the back plies off. And this particular napkin has 3 plies. So we only want that top ply on our napkin. And that's what we're going to use to adhere So this we can just get rid of. We're just going to use this top layer. It's a little translucent. You can kind of see a little bit through it. And then you just take your scissors and you just cut out little flower portions or floral motifs, whichever kind of blue toile patterns you have. Just cut out little sections of flowers. They can be, you know, 1 inch to 3 inches, or even if they're long and skinny, whatever you want to do. Yeah, Hillary's showing some of hers already. I have some already pre-cut as well. Don't worry if you're towards the end of the napkin. Sometimes the edges have like that dimple effect on them. That will actually smooth out when you're brushing that onto your pumpkin. So don't worry about that. That's totally fine. If it's got the little bumps on it, that's totally cool. Just pick your favorite little flower elements.
And I would say, like, as you start, so when you first start, it's a little like you're trying to find the right flower or this or that. Once you start and cut out a few pieces and start to lay them out, it gets so much easier, and it really starts to come together really easily. But I would say the thing that makes it a little bit easier is if you vary the sizes of the things that you're cutting out. So you can have, you know, just some little tiny little flowers that you can pop into spaces that need something.
We'll fill in. Yeah, exactly. And in fact, I've got some that are like super tiny. I've got like even like a little single flower, because you know, you might end up with an extra little space that you just want to put one little accent in. So yeah, different sizes and shapes. And then sometimes you can, if you want something that's a little larger, and if you want, you could actually plan to lay this out over the lid, but just know you're going to glue the bottom part and then you're going to cut it and then just line up the top. So there's lots of fun things you can do with it. You don't want to start with that because that's kind of a little more advanced technique. But once you get your confidence up, you're like, oh yeah, I have this piece and it would look pretty if the design continued over onto the lid. You can have fun with that as well. So we're just going to go ahead and get started and grab some Mod Podge. Now, this is a covered dish. There's so many things you can put in it. If you wanted to use it for food, I would use the dishwasher-safe, food-safe Mod Podge. I might use this as a trinket jar or a candy dish that's got, you know, wrapped candy in it. So I'm not worried so much about food safe. So I'm just using the regular Mod Podge for mine.
And they do have Mod Podge at Dollar Tree now, which is really nice because it comes in a smaller container. Sometimes it's hard to get through a whole container of Mod Podge. So
yeah. And then I would just suggest starting small. Just start with a small section, spread a thin layer onto your pumpkin until you kind of figure out designs and all that kind of stuff. And then you're just going to lay a section of your napkin down and then just gently tap with your finger and kind of gently pull across the surface. You're not going to get out all of the wrinkles, but kind of that gentle tapping technique will just help smooth out some of the wrinkles that are there. And then you can see my piece was too big to lay down all at once. So I'm just going to continue adding some Mod Podge underneath the rest of that design.
The other thing that's nice about this technique, especially for this sort of pumpkin shape, because you've got round, it's skinny at the top, it's got sections. By doing it in these little pieces of napkin, it makes it so much easier to work around the pumpkin shape.
Yes. And then you can just take your brush and lay down kind of the edges. Make sure if there's any edges of the napkin sticking up, you can brush those down. This is it's easier than it looks.
Yeah.
So pretty. You want to be delicate and gentle because the napkin will tear. I've actually done another one of these earlier just to give it a try. And if it tears, you can actually lay the napkin gently back down in place and hide that tear. So there is a way to kind of hide your mistakes. Or you can place another little floral motif on top and no one will ever know. So
yeah. It is definitely easier than it looks, and you can kind of go as much or as little. So depending on the napkin you're using, depending on the pattern, you can, leave more spaces of white or leave, fill it in more or less. And I love the idea of like, so we're doing pumpkins for this, but you could also, if you were having a little tablescape or something like that, shelf sitters, that sort of thing, you could do, a little, just a flat dish if you wanted to, with the same kind of napkin.
Oh, yeah.
Mod Podge, just to kind of make things coordinate.
All right. Now I'm just trying to figure out where I want my next one to go. That'll work. This is such a fun project. And again, it would be a cute idea to do on like a girls' craft night together. Yep. You each get to go home with your fun little dish.
Well, and you could do different kinds of napkins too. So it wouldn't necessarily have to be the toile. You could have, everybody could kind of do their own thing if they wanted to, or.
Yep.
Or if it's all the toile, it's different, go to your vintage stores and just kind of thrift some different kinds of containers and things would be super fun.
Oh, that would be neat. So I'm just cutting away any excess napkin as I need to, as I'm laying it down. If it's kind of really overhanging on my pumpkin, I can just cut away any excess that I'm not going to need. And then just brushing down those edges. Look at already, so pretty.
And there will be a little bit of wrinkling, like because of the nature of the shapes that we're working with and stuff. So
yeah. What I like about that, it gives you freedom because you're not worried about trying to get every last little wrinkle out. Sometimes there's a lot of pressure for that to do that. I think it can be challenging. And this way, there's a little wrinkles. That's okay. That's kind of the overall effect that you end up with. So because it's a uniform effect, then it looks intentional.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, these would be so pretty to do a collection of them in different shapes and sizes. You could do, as you said, you could vary up the napkins. So you've got different colors to your napkins, or you could take all the same napkins and then vary up the shapes of your pumpkins. And as I'm kind of putting my next piece down, it's almost like a puzzle. You're just trying to find another shape that kind of fits in some of those open spots.
Yeah.
So if you love puzzles, this is another fun idea.
And it takes less than you think. Well, I suppose depending on your napkin, it takes less than you think. So it really does kind of come together. Like once you start building your main pieces, then you're just filling in little sections and stuff. And you can kind of take a step back, look at it, and decide like, okay, yeah, that's enough, or no, I want another little extra piece here or there.
Yep. So pretty. I love that this is a trend. This is it just reminds me, obviously this is a French toile technique, the pattern is a French toile pattern. But it's feminine, but it's classic, it's girly, it's, but it's not like over the top. And you can get really some masculine toiles as well with hunting scenes, and all of that. So it really will change what
the look and feel.
Yeah. I've seen some with horses or hound dogs, which of course I love. And it's okay to get onto the rim, that's totally fine. So if you're overlapping onto the rim over at the top or on the base at the bottom a little bit, that's totally fine. You don't have to be super precise about any of this. I can't believe this is going so quickly.
Yep. Like, I just love the way that these turn out.
Almost done.
And this is for sure one of those, like, you get to be successful without, you know, because of the pattern, because of how you're combining the things. Like, the actual technique is super simple, but you come out with something that's really eye-catching and really beautiful.
Yeah. And each one's unique. Like if you did this, you know, if you had a group of gals that were doing this together, everybody's would be so different, even though you might be using the same napkin, same shape. And I love that. Each one is unique, just like you are. I have a Josie hair on my pumpkin.
It wouldn't be a Hound Hugger DIY craft without some dog hair.
I know. I got some doggy glitter on there. Oh my gosh, so funny. Oh, love that. Just be careful when you're going over it with the brush that you're not pulling too hard. Again, this is really gentle, delicate tissue. So just be mindful of that as you're putting some Mod Podge on it. Now, really, at this time, we're just focusing on getting the Mod Podge underneath everything. And then as this dries, we will be adding some Mod Podge to the top, just another layer on top.
And that'll sort of help to like put down any of those little edges as well, so you don't have to be super concerned because you know you'll be going over it again.
Yeah. We really just want this first layer to dry, because otherwise if you're spreading the Mod Podge on top of something that's already wet and delicate, it could tear the napkin. So it's good that we're just moving on to the next. You're just moving on to the next section. Let the other sections kind of dry as you continue forward. And I would love, if anybody else has done this, I would love to know what you did this on. Like what kind of did you do it on a candle, a vase, a little dish like we're doing? How did it turn out? And did you just stop at one? Like I could see doing a whole series of these.
I don't know that it's possible to stop at one.
I know. Exactly. All right. So I'm just trimming around my next piece. You can just always edit, take out if there's too much napkin that's going down, you can always cut away whatever's excess. The trick is just a nice thin layer of Mod Podge. You don't want too much, be too goopy. Then it is a little difficult to get the wrinkles out of the napkin when you've got too much Mod Podge too.
These are so fun. Like you said, it's addicting for sure.
Yeah, I totally could see doing a ton of these. All right. Some of the excess. Okay, so I'm working my way around. I have a few little holes that I will want to fill with a little extra something. But yeah, we're already getting there. Just be careful touching where it's wet, because you might rub the napkin and tear it a little bit. So, and then once you're done with the base, you're going to work your way. Hillary's already started her lid. I'm going to jump on the lid real quick.
I'm just trying to, so once you've got it and you're just kind of working through the little holes, you're just going to kind of start trying to place these little extra bits and bobs to fill in the spaces. And so one of the things that I'm looking for is I don't want the flower that I'm adding in or the leaves that I'm adding in to be super similar to what I'm putting them next to. So it's surprising, like once you actually start trying to piece these little parts in, you're like, oh, well, that's exactly the, you don't realize that the pattern repeats quite as much as it does. So
yeah. Oh, so pretty. It helps when you like the napkin too. Like pick a napkin that you love.
For sure.
Then you're going to love the outcome.
And one that has a fairly, if you're going for a particular look or theme, one that really does represent that look or theme.
Oh my goodness. I wish everybody could see this up close because this really is so pretty. Turns out so nice. It's so easy. Now on the lid, you're just kind of going around the lip area, going underneath that rim, making sure that the edge of the napkin is adhering to the underneath part. So it's okay if it overlaps it a little bit on the edge. All right. I love the versatility of the dish idea as well, because you could do so much. You could fill it with candy. You could fill it with a trinket jar, some jewelry, be cute to make your own little jewelry jar. Or if you wanted to make this as a gift to somebody to hold little earrings or bracelets, that'd be cute. This would definitely make, obviously Hillary's got a candle, so you could melt a candle inside if yours doesn't have a candle already in it, which I love. You could even make this a sugar bowl. This would be so cute to have on your kitchen table. A little sugar bowl or near the coffee pot, and if you've got a coffee station. My favorite is a little hideaway for doggy treats. So you could always put a few extra biscuits in here for the pups to enjoy. It's a little bougie for a dog treat holder, dog treat jar, but our pups deserve it.
Well, and I love the idea of I like the sort of trend of romanticizing your life. This is one of those things, like, you can use something beautiful for dog treats if you'd like. Like, you can romanticize anything that you'd like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just love the feminine part, but I also love the country. Like, this is just like French country chic. It still has that warm, rustic, kind of homey country vibe to it that I absolutely love. It just makes you feel like home, when things are cozy. All right. All right, so my lid is done. You're painting your stem?
No.
Not yet. Okay. No. All right.
I'm still adding a few more little flowers in there.
Okay.
So
I could do the same. Yeah. Super cute. I've got some holes here. I was trying to catch up to you because I know you had, oh my goodness, Ginger's barking at the phone now. That's a new one. That's a new one.
But I have my bottom section completed, so we can move on if you'd like.
Yeah. So basically what you're going to do is once everything's dry, we're going to coat this with another layer of Mod Podge just to seal everything in. And then you're done. So once that dries, then you're done. But I don't know if anybody wants to watch paint dry, watch Mod Podge dry. So we don't have to do that part. It's super easy to do. You're just covering it with a nice thin layer. Again, you want to make sure this dries because as this dries, the napkin, the first layer, the napkin is wet and pliable, and you have a chance of pulling it with the brush if you go over it when the Mod Podge, the first layer of Mod Podge is still wet, or when your napkins are still wet. So you want to make sure those are nice and everything is nice and dry before you give it another kind of final coat. But I love how this little guy turns out. Super cute.
That is so cool.
They're so adorable. And then, so I'll keep working on this, filling in some last little spots, and then I'll give it another coat. And then when it's all done, like throw some caramels in there. Keep this little stash hidden somewhere in your house, and you've got a little treat snack waiting for you. And then Hillary, you've got a lovely little candle.
So here's the candle that's already in here. And then for this one, the way I'm going to finish it out, like once I've Mod Podged around the top layer, filled in some of these little holes, this was a blue candle holder, but the blue is really quite a bit different. It's more of a teal. Yeah. So it doesn't quite go well enough for me. So what I'm going to do is just use some gold marker and cover up this little stem here too. So it'll sort of mirror like the ones that you have there. So I just think the gold will kind of offset with this nice toile pattern a little bit better than leaving it the sort of teal blue that it is right now.
Right.
So, and that's something that you can do. Like if you were doing a flat dish or a dish that has kind of a rim or an edge, if you wanted to finish it off, that's a nice way to do it, is just take a paint marker, gold paint marker, and you can kind of finish that edge. It'll sort of finish the whole thing, give it a little bit more of a completed look there at the end.
Yeah, elevated, really elevated. Like that little bit of bling is a nice touch. The glass stem, you might want to sandpaper it before you put the pen on, because the chalk paint sticks to slippery things, but the pen might not. So just a little tip. You could give it a try first without sandpapering your stem. And if it works, great. But if not,
so this is pretty rough already. Just because this particular glass container is super rough already. But that's a good tip for
this one. Was super shiny.
If you're doing it on a ceramic dish or something like that, you might need to
just
use
a little. Just rough up the surface. You don't have to like rough away the color or anything. Just scratch the surface so there's something for that paint to stick to. Because this one originally was super shiny, super smooth. But oh my gosh, so cute. And now I've got two of them, and they each have a little friend. So I love this. So adorable. Thanks so much, everybody. Glad we got this time to spend together. We missed you guys over the last couple of weeks when we were on vacation. So we're happy to get right back into it. We love crafting. We love crafting with you. It's the best part of our week. And we're so happy we've got you hopefully inspired to get out there this weekend, run to Dollar Tree, get yourself a little pumpkin.
And definitely run to Dollar Tree, because as we've said, already the fall stuff is out and it already is flying off the shelf.
They're picking over. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So grab them while you can get them, grab the ones that you want, and check it out. And if you do end up making these or some variation of this, we would love to see your creations. So please tag us, Hound Hugger DIY, so we can see them. It really does make our day when we see what you guys create. So
it does. Thanks so much, everybody, for being with us. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.